Hello student, today in this session we will be going to discuss about SEBI, that is the Security Exchange Board of India. There were many malpractices which were going on in the financial market, and in order to avoid those malpractices, the government of India, they established the SEBI on 12th April 1988, and it got its legal existence in February 1992. Okay, legal existence, the statutory existence, it came into existence from February 1992, and its function was to control the various activities which were being practiced in the financial market, and those practices were not being done in a fair or the transparent manner. So in order to avoid the losses to the investor, or let's say in order to safeguard the interest of the investor, the government of India set up SEBI. Okay, तो इसकी सेटअप क्यों हुई और कौन सी तारीख को हुई, ये हमारी बात अभी हो गई. Now the objectives of SEBI. What are the objectives of SEBI? SEBI के objectives क्या हैं? Protection of investors' interest. The main aim or the objective of the SEBI is to protect the interest of the investor, or investor interest is protected when the investors are getting the true and the fair information related with the companies. जब इन्वेस्टर को कंपनीज के बारे में सही इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है, फेयर इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है, उससे इन्वेस्टर अपने डिसीजन सही तरीके से ले सकता है. प्रमोशन एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज मार्केट, अनदर थिंग objective, that is the promotion and development of security market, because SEBI, it regulates the stock exchange, and when it is regulating the stock exchange, the working of the stock exchange is being done in the proper manner. So in order to promote the proper functioning in the stock exchange, the development and promotion of the security market is being done by SEBI. Then comes developing a code of conduct. SEBI also developed the code of conduct for the intermediaries. ये intermediaries के लिए भी code of conduct develop करता है. Rules and regulations, the norms are developed for the intermediaries. Okay, intermediaries like the brokers or the organizations which are working as a broker. They laid down some rules and regulations for them, and accordingly they have to work by following those rules and regulations. If they are not following the rules and regulations, then the strict actions are taken against the intermediaries. So they lay down some code of conduct for the intermediaries. Then comes mobilization and allocation of resources. Okay, SEBI, it mobilize the resources and then it also allocate the resources to the concerned organization. What it says, it stimulates the competition and help in collecting the funds. ये competition बढ़ाता है and it also helps in collecting the fund, and it also guides the meaningful use of that fund. ये वो भी बताता है कि इस फंड को सही तरीके से कैसे इस्तेमाल किया जाना चाहिए. So this is also one of the objective of SEBI. It mobilize and allocate the resources. Then it provides the facilities to the intermediaries. It also provides certain facilities to the intermediaries. Intermediaries को ये facilities देता है, like training from time to time. They provide them the infrastructure facility also, so that they can work in the stock market. So training is one of the facility, infrastructure is one of the facility which is being provided by the SEBI to the intermediaries, so that they can work in the proper manner. So these were some of the objectives of SEBI for which the Security Exchange Board of India was established. Now, after going through the objectives of SEBI, SEBI has to perform the number of functions. SEBI को कई प्रकार के फंक्शन परफॉर्म करने पड़ते हैं. Now, what are those functions? Broadly, the functions of SEBI are classified into 3 categories. SEBI के फंक्शन जो हैं वो 3 कैटेगरी में क्लासीफाई किए गए हैं. That is protective function, regulatory function and the developmental function. SEBI के कुछ प्रोटेक्टिव फंक्शन है, कुछ रेगुलेटरी फंक्शन है and they have also got some developmental function. Now what are the protective function? We will discuss about the protective function first. किस प्रकार से SEBI ऐसे कौन से काम करता है जिससे प्रोटेक्शन मिलता है? तो प्रोटेक्टिव फंक्शन में इट कंट्रोल्स ऑन द प्राइस रिगिंग. प्राइस रिगिंग मीन्स टू इन्फ्लेट और डिप्रेस द प्राइसेस ऑफ द शेयर. प्राइस रिगिंग का मतलब होता है कि शेयर्स के प्राइस में इन्फ्लेशन और डिप्रेशन करना बाय अनफेयर एंड फ्रॉड मैनर. गलत तरीके से, अनफेयर एंड फ्रॉड मैनर, किसी भी गलत तरीके से कंपनी के शेयर्स के प्राइस को बढ़ाना और घटाना, दैट इज नोन एज प्राइस रिगिंग. एंड सम ऑपरेटर्स दे ट्राई टू मिसलीड द इन्वेस्टर्स बाय स्प्रेडिंग द फॉल्स र्यूमर. कई ब्रोकर्स या इंटरमीडिएटरीज गलत तरीके की इंफॉर्मेशन को आगे बढ़ा करके दे मिसगाइड द इन्वेस्टर्स अबाउट द वेरियस इंटरनल अफेयर्स ऑफ द कंपनी and they provoke the investors to buy more shares. और वो इन्वेस्टर को encourage या provoke करते हैं कि वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट करें, but actually that thing is not there. So this is one of the protective function which is being done by the SEBI. वो प्राइस रिगिंग को कंट्रोल करता है. बैन ऑन इनसाइड ट्रेडिंग. बैन ऑन इनसाइड ट्रेडिंग, इनसाइड ट्रेडिंग नहीं होने देता है. इनसाइड ट्रेडिंग का मतलब होता है कि समटाइम्स द मेंबर्स और द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स और द एग्जीक्यूटिव्स ऑफ द कंपनी दे नो अबाउट द इंटरनल अफेयर्स ऑफ द कंपनी, एंड व्हेन दे नो अबाउट द इंटरनल अफेयर्स ऑफ द कंपनी और द कॉन्फिडेंशियल मैटर्स ऑफ द कंपनी ड्यू टू विच द प्राइसेस ऑफ द शेयर्स और द डिबेंचर्स ऑफ द कंपनी मे इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज. So they are taking the undue advantage of that thing, and then they are providing this confidential information to their fellow persons, to their relatives, to their friends who can invest the money, and then when the investment is being done, afterwards the prices of the shares are rising up, बढ़ जाते हैं, and the profit margin of that investor increase, in which the person who has given him the information, he is also getting his share. तो ये भी एक गलत बात है जिसको सेबी पूरी तरीके से रोकने की कोशिश करता है. कि सेफ गार्डिंग द इन्वेस्टर, इन्वेस्टर को सेफ गार्ड करता है. हाउ द प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर्स टेक प्लेस, प्रोवाइडिंग देम इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम, पब्लिशिंग द जर्नल्स, books related with the financial affairs of the company, news related with the financial affairs of the company. They provide all this information from time to time, and they inform the investor that whether they have to invest the money in the particular company or not. So this is also the way through which SEBI is safeguarding the interest of the investor. Then it prescribes the code of conduct. SEBI prescribes the code of conduct for the capital market. पूरे कैपिटल मार्केट के लिए ये नॉर्म्स बनाते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अ कंपनी प्रोक्योर्स अ लोन फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर पर्पस. एक कंपनी ने किसी एक पर्पस के लिए लोन रेज किया है, तो जो वो पर्पस उसने जिसके लिए लोन रेज किया है, इट कैनॉट यूज दैट अमाउंट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट पर्पस. उसके अलावा वो किसी दूसरे काम के लिए वो अमाउंट यूज नहीं कर सकते हैं. सो देयर आर स्ट्रिक्ट नॉर्म्स विच आर बीइंग लेड डाउन बाय द सेबी दैट इफ यू हैव परचेज, if you have raised the funds for a particular purpose, then you have to make the use of that fund for that purpose only. So these are some of the protective functions of SEBI. Let us now move to the next function of SEBI, that is the regulatory function. What does the regulatory function means? Regulatory function means all those activities which are being done by SEBI in order to control the various types of agencies or the intermediaries or the brokers which are involved in the capital market. So they are laying down the norms. The norms are being laid down for these intermediaries or agencies so that they can work in the proper manner. So these are the regulatory functions. Like when we are talking about the regulatory function, the first regulatory function is related with the activities of intermediaries. The intermediaries are the brokers of the capital market or the agents who are working in the capital market. Okay, so some rules and regulations are laid down for these intermediaries, brokers or agent, so that they can make the use of this norm and do their working in the fair and transparent manner. कुछ उनके लिए नियम बनाते हैं, कुछ उनके लिए रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बनते हैं, so that they can follow those rules and regulation and work in a proper manner. Next come the rules related with the mutual funds. All the companies which are issuing the mutual funds, the SEBI has also laid down some rules and regulations for them also, and according to those rules and regulations only the mutual funds should be issued by these companies. Then comes regulating the security market, the overall security market. The SEBI, it regulates the complete functioning of the stock exchange. सेबी पूरी तरीके से स्टॉक एक्सचेंज को कंट्रोल करता है, एंड स्टॉक एक्सचेंज दे विल बी वर्किंग अकॉर्डिंग टू द नॉर्म्स और द पैरामीटर्स विच आर बीइंग लेड डाउन बाय द सेबी. स्टॉक एक्सचेंज को वो सारे नॉर्म्स और वो सारे पैरामीटर्स फॉलो करने हैं जो सेबी ने उनकी फंक्शनिंग के लिए बनाए हैं. सो दे आर ऑल्सो रेगुलेटिंग द सिक्योरिटी मार्केट. देन SEBI also regulates the takeover bids. Takeover bid means when the one company is acquiring the shares of the target company. अगर एक कंपनी किसी दूसरी कंपनी को टारगेट करके उसके शेयर्स को एक्वायर करती है, so SEBI sees this thing that the takeover bid should be a genuine bid. जो भी आप कंपनी को टारगेट कर रहे हो और उसको पूरी तरीके से टेक ओवर करना चाहते हैं, and you want to purchase the shares of that company, so it should be a genuine bid and the shareholder of the company being taken over are satisfied with the deal. आपको एक genuine offer देना पड़ेगा, and the shareholders of the company who wants to sell their share or who have sold their share, they are getting a reasonable or a satisfied return of their investment by the company who has taken that company share or who has acquired the share of one company from them. तो ये जो बिड होती है इसको भी अनफेयर तरीके से नहीं करना है, फेयर तरीके से करना है. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो लेड डाउन बाय द सेबी. उसके अलावा सेबी क्या करता है, कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल एक्ट जो है 1956 उसको फॉलो करवाता है in doing the working of the capital market. When the contracts are taking place, buyers and sellers are involved in buying and selling of shares and securities. So these contracts are being prepared or followed in the true and fair manner. So SEBI regulate this thing also. And then fees regulation. SEBI fees को भी regulate करता है. They are charging the fees for the regulatory functions. ये जितने भी रेगुलेटरी फंक्शंस हैं, सेबी हर चीज की फीस चार्ज करता है, हर फंक्शन की फीस चार्ज करता है फ्रॉम द कंसर्न ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो हाउ मच फीस इज टू बी चार्ज, व्हेन इट इज टू बी चार्ज, ये सारी चीजें सेबी रेगुलेट करेगा. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द रेगुलेटरी फंक्शन ऑफ सेबी. नाउ आफ्टर द रेगुलेटरी फंक्शन ऑफ सेबी वी मूव टुवर्ड्स द developmental function of SEBI. The third function of SEBI is related with the developmental activities. Development of what? किस चीज का डेवलपमेंट, किसका डेवलपमेंट? development of intermediaries by providing them training from time to time. SEBI provides the training to the intermediaries from time to time so that they can be updated and they can give the proper information to the investors in a proper manner. तो सेबी अपने इंटरमीडिएटरीज को समय समय पर ट्रेनिंग देता रहता है ताकि वो अपडेटेड रहें. Then it also provides the education to the investor by providing them the timely news, timely information through media, journal, newspaper. SEBI also update their investors. SEBI अपने investors को भी समय समय पर update करता रहता है. Then easy approach to the capital market. How the easy approach in the capital market will take place? Because it has permitted the buyer and seller to do their dealings in the stock market with the help of the broker. ब्रोकर की मदद से बायर और सेलर दोनों अपनी डीलिंग करते हैं स्टॉक मार्केट में या सिक्योरिटी मार्केट में. सो दे हैव गिवन एन इजी अप्रोच टू द इन्वेस्टर सो दैट दे कैन बाय एंड सेल देयर सिक्योरिटीज. Then they are also doing some developmental work related with the research, promotional research, how the functioning of the stock exchange can be made more effective, how we can safeguard the interest of the investor in a better manner, and how we can strengthen the capital market. So what all things can be done for doing all these things? The research activities are being conducted by SEBI. SEBI time to time ये सब कहानियाँ लिखता रहता है. सेबी रिसर्च एक्टिविटीज करता रहता है सो दैट द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज और द कैपिटल मार्केट कैन बी मेड मोर इफेक्टिव. सो वी हैव डिस्कस इन दिस सेशन दैट इज द मीनिंग related with SEBI, objective of SEBI. Then we have seen that what are the various functions of SEBI in three categories. The functions related with the protection, that is the protective function. Then we have gone through the regulatory function of the SEBI. Then we have gone through the developmental function of SEBI.